She was already waiting on my driveway when I pulled up with the moving truck. Arms crossed, lips pressed so tight it looked painful. Before I could even kill the engine, she stormed forward and shouted, "You can't live here. This is HOA property and you're not approved." The crazy part? My house wasn't even inside the HOA. It was literally the one property just outside their border. I leaned against the truck door, calm, while she jabbed her finger toward my face like she owned the whole street. "Get out now, or I'll have you arrested," she barked, waving a stack of crumpled papers she'd clearly printed at home. I almost laughed, but then she slapped one on my front door that read, "Eviction notice. HOA violation." That's when I knew she wasn't just angry, she was dangerous. I kept my voice even. "Ma'am, you have no authority here." She smirked, eyes wild. "Oh, you'll see. I run this block. Nobody moves in without my approval." Then she grabbed her phone and dialed 911 right there, telling them I was trespassing on my own property. As she yelled, neighbors started peeking out of their windows, whispering. One old man shook his head, muttering, "Not again." Like this wasn't her first meltdown. My stomach tightened, but I stayed quiet. I wanted to see just how far she'd take this. The sirens grew louder in the distance, and Karen's grin widened. She actually clapped her hands, whispering to herself, "Finally. We'll get him out." But what she didn't know was that I wasn't just some random guy with a moving truck. I had a card in my wallet that would flip her whole world upside down. 2 patrol cars pulled up, lights flashing. And Karen ran to them like she was the queen of the street. She pointed at me, screaming, "That's him. Arrest him right now, he broke into that house." The officers looked at her, then at me, confused. I didn't move. I just crossed my arms and waited. Karen leaned in closer to one of the cops, whispering loud enough for me to hear, "He's dangerous. I think he has weapons in that truck. You need to take him down before he hurts someone." She was trying to paint me as a threat, and for a second, I could feel the tension shift. One of the younger officers rested his hand on his holster. That's when I pulled out my folder. Calmly, I handed it over. "Before you do anything, you might want to look at this." The officer opened it and froze. Inside was the official deed to the property, signed and recorded months ago. My name was printed in bold. Karen's smirk twitched into panic. No, that can't be right. That's our house. It's HOA property." The older cop raised an eyebrow. "Ma'am, this land is not under the HOA. It says so right here. And this document's legit." But Karen wasn't backing down. She marched toward my truck, slammed her palm on the hood, and shouted, "He forged it. He's lying. Get him out before he ruins everything." The crowd of neighbors had grown bigger now, phones out, recording. One woman whispered, "She did the same thing to the last guy. This time she's gone too far." I could see Karen's face reddening, her desperation rising. She grabbed another paper from her bag, some fake HOA violation printout, and shoved it at the cops. That's when I pulled out something else. Something she never expected me to have. Karen froze when I pulled a second card from my wallet, dark leather. Gold emblem, official. I handed it to the older officer, who blinked, then straightened up immediately. Karen tried to peek over his shoulder, but he quickly pocketed it. "Is that some fake badge?" she stammered, her voice cracking for the first time. I finally spoke, steady and clear. "No, Karen. I work with the state attorney's office. And everything you just did, calling in a false report, slapping fake notices, trying to push me off my own land, that's criminal." The younger officer's hand slipped off his holster. The whole crowd gasped. A neighbor muttered, "Oh. She's done." Phones tilted closer, recording every second. Karen's jaw dropped, but then she snapped back into her usual madness. "He's lying. He's scamming you all. I'm the HOA president, do you know who I am?" She stomped closer to me, pointing inches from my face. I decide who stays here, not some paper-pushing lawyer. Her own son, maybe 16, came running down the sidewalk, wide-eyed. Mom, stop. Please. But she shoved him aside and hissed, go inside. This is grown-up business. The older cop sighed, clearly tired of her antics. Ma'am, if you don't calm down, you're the one who's gonna be in cuffs tonight. Karen's face twisted. She spun toward the neighbors, shouting, all of you. He's lying to trick us, don't you see? If he stays here, the whole neighborhood is ruined. I just let her dig her own grave. Because what she didn't know was that I had security footage. Saved up, video proof of her trespassing on my property before I even moved in. And I was ready to show it. I unlocked my phone slowly, letting her watch. And cast the video straight onto the side of my truck with a small projector. I kept for work presentations. The screen lit up, and the entire crowd leaned forward. There she was, Karen, just 2 nights earlier. Creeping onto my porch with a flashlight. She peeled off one of my locks. Taped her fake HOA notice to the door. And even peeked through my windows. Her voice carried on the recording. We'll scare him out before he even settles in. The crowd gasped. Her son buried his face in his hands. One neighbor whispered, oh my God. She planned this. Phone zoomed in on the footage, catching every second. Karen spun around, her face white now, hands shaking. That's fake. He made that up. I didn't even have to reply. The older officer spoke firmly, ma'am, this footage has timestamps. And it matches the trespassing report we got from a neighbor last week. You've been warned before. The younger cop finally stepped forward, cuffs in hand. Karen backed away, screeching, no. You don't understand. I own this street. He doesn't belong here. Her voice cracked as the crowd started laughing, not mocking, but relieved. One man shouted, you've been terrorizing us for years, Karen. Now it's your turn. The cuffs clicked around her wrists. And for the first time, she wasn't screaming. She was silent, shaking. Glaring at me like she wanted to burn a hole through my chest. I leaned close enough so only she could hear. I didn't fight for this land just to let someone like you steal it. Not now. Not ever. And in that moment, I knew this war with her was only just beginning. The cops loaded Karen into the back of the patrol car. Her screams muffled by the glass as neighbors stood in clusters. Still buzzing from the chaos. Her son lingered on the sidewalk. Looking embarrassed and broken. While people patted his shoulder, telling him, it's not your fault, kid. I stood by my truck, watching the flashing lights fade as the cars pulled away. The street felt lighter, freer. Like someone had just lifted a weight off everyone's chest. A woman from across the road walked over and said quietly, we've been waiting years for her to get caught. You don't know what you just did for this neighborhood. I smiled, but I wasn't celebrating. I knew people like Karen didn't give up easily. She'd try to twist this around, maybe through lawyers, maybe through more lies. But I wasn't afraid. Because now, everyone had seen the truth with their own eyes. I looked up at my new home, my land. Free from her fake HOA rules, and felt something settle in my chest. Peace. As I walked inside, I thought back to all the times I had fought to protect what was mine. And whispered to myself, I didn't fight for this country to be told I can't live on my own land. And this time, justice wasn't just for me. It was for every neighbor she had bullied, every family she had tried to scare. Karen thought she ruled this street. But tonight proved one thing. The law still rules louder than any HOA queen.